Oh, Nikki, baby, what are you doing? By now, I'm pretty sure everyone has seen Nicki Minaj's horrible Turning Point USA interview. When I saw this, I knew it was time to start my new series, and I will call that series the Tap Dancing Chronicles. So let's have a discussion about these clowns.
Nicki Minaj, Nicki the Bob, Nicki the Ninja, Nicki the Harajuku Barbie.
I forgot to mention, this video is from Anton Daniel's Another Tap Dancer.
I want to start off with a disclaimer and an empathetic touch, because from black woman to black woman, I think that there's always room for that. I think everyone can agree that Nicki Minaj will go down in history as one of the greatest rappers of our time.
I grew up on Young Money, Cash Money, so to see Nicki go out this bad is sad.
I want to be very clear. I will never support it. Yes. When you go against your own identity, whether that be being a woman, being a part of the LGBT community, being black, whatever, when you decide to actively go against your marginalized identity for personal gain, i.e. being a coon, you will lose every ounce of respect I have for you.
Before the tap dancer talks, this lady didn't tell a single lie.
People are mad that Nicki Minaj actually appeared on a Turning Point USA AmFest, right? And so basically it was an event that was happening in Arizona, I believe Phoenix, and she's recently emphasized her support for being more conservative, and I'm assuming also embracing God, because that is a lot of what Turning Point USA is, and Charlie Kirk.
Lies. Nobody's attacking her for being conservative. They are attacking her for aligning herself with Turning Point USA. Turning Point USA, led by Charlie Kirk, have consistently spread hateful rhetoric about black people to young white people.
And despite what people may say or think, or what the conspiracies are, because I know...
Conspiracy? We have multiple video evidence of him being racist and being a liar.
You, I hate you.
Yeah. Would you like to have a substantive conversation, or?
A substitute?
Yeah.
A substitute? No, man.
No,
I just think you're a asshole.
Would you like to have a conversation?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like you. I think you spread hate. I think you spread bigotry. I think you piss a lot of people off because you're just an awful person. I don't think you really want to debate because you're just here to piss people off and energize your crowd of racists.
What have I ever said that's racist?
You really have to wonder. In fact, you know, if we would have said 3 weeks ago, Blake, if we would have said that Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously.
Michelle Obama actually never said she was picked due to affirmative action. She said she was intimidated and at the moment felt like she didn't belong.
I want to read what Farah Jasmine Griffin, Dr. Sharon Jasmine Griffin, chair of the African American and African Diaspora Studies at Columbia University, wrote about you in the foreword to The Look. The denim, the red sweater and white shirt, the slender watch, and the totes say, I am just your average American college student. She later writes, and so she came, an American girl with a South Side twist. And then later still, red, white, and blue all-American girl with braids. Did you see yourself as a red, white, and blue all-American girl? How did you see yourself then?
Gosh, that's an interesting question. I don't know if I was mature enough or cognizant enough to be that deep about who I was in the space that I was in. I think at that time, by then, my sophomore year, I really understood that I belonged at a place like Princeton. I've told this story often, that my experience with reaching high was swatted down like so many of us. I was applying to colleges, sat down with my college counselor. Princeton was my top choice, and she told me, "Are you reaching a little bit too high?"
She said, I don't think you're Princeton material.
I don't think you're Princeton material. But I was an honor student, a senior class treasurer. I had a brother who went to Princeton, so I sort of felt like, well, how are you, who doesn't really know me, understand that? So you enter into college with that voice in your head that says maybe you don't belong. It took me a semester to realize I got this, right? Because then you walk onto this campus and you see, it's the affirmative action that helps us that seems to be a problem. Because when I got on campus, I realized, there's a lot of affirmative action going on here. There were the wealthy legacy kids, the athletes that were there, not because they were smart, but because they were football players, and on and on and on. And then when I blew out my first year, got straight A's, I think by then I realized that I didn't have to prove anything to anyone. I think that's what I focused on. I didn't have the luxury of thinking beyond kind of purpose. I was hustling. I was proving. I was getting my work done.
Also, there is no way to know who is there due to affirmative action. Michelle Obama finished top of her class and graduated from an Ivy League school.
You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
Notice how it's always a white person spot. Very interesting.
I get into is a claim made by Stephen King on X that got a lot of attention, saying that Kirk believed in stoning gay people as punishment. He has since retracted that and apologized, said that he did not fact check this claim, but here's where it actually comes from. In 2024, Kirk was responding to Miss Rachel, who had quoted a Bible verse, "Love thy neighbor," and this was the full context of the clip where this controversial statement came up.
But hold on. She's not totally wrong when she says, first of all, the first part is Deuteronomy 6:3-5. The second part is Leviticus 19. So you love God. So you must love his law. How do you love somebody?
Here we go, folks.
You love them by telling them the truth, not by confirming or affirming their sin. And it says, by the way, Miss Rachel, you might want to crack open that Bible of yours. In a lesser referenced part of the same part of Scripture is in Leviticus 18, is that thou shalt lay with another man shall be stoned to death.
Let me explain. The video confirms he definitely believed that gay people should be stoned to death. Let me explain further.
So you love God. So you must love his law. How do you love somebody?
Here we go, folks.
You love them by telling them the truth, not by confirming or affirming their sin.
Okay, number one is Charlie Kirk loves God. Number two, to love God, you must love his law. Number three, Charlie says that stoning gay people is a part of God's perfect law.
Just saying. So, Miss Rachel, you quote Leviticus 19, love your neighbor as yourself. The chapter before affirms God's perfect law when it comes to sexual matters.
Yeah, so that's exactly what he said. But if you're not convinced he hates gay and trans people, I have more.
It's the natural law. And dare I say, a throbbing middle finger to God is the transgender thing happening in America right now. We are in a church, and so it's important to remember Deuteronomy 22:5, a woman shall not wear a man's garment, nor shall a man put on a woman's cloak. For whoever does these things is an abomination to the Lord your God. You hear that, William Thomas? You're an abomination to God.
That there's continuously being more debate over Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA and all of this stuff. Women and people have now turned against Nicki Minaj, or a lot of people are turning against Nicki Minaj because she actually supported and appeared with Erica Kirk on this live stream. Now, let me add this in there. This woman immediately resorted to calling her out of her name after exchanging pleasantries, right?
All the heat in the world for a 20-year-old on TikTok, but nothing when the president of the United States does it. Nicki Minaj was literally calling Gavin Newsom new scum on stage.
And this is the question that I have as we evaluate this video and as we have these conversations. Is it that they're not fitting into the box that you want them to anymore? Because a lot of what people do or what they support may not necessarily be against your best interest.
Supporting a company that pushes lies about black people stealing opportunities from white people is working against my best interest. Supporting a company that was led by a guy pushing fake narratives about black pilots is working against my best interest.
But it's what's best for them and their evolution as a human being. People want you to stay in this box. And I don't have any Nicki Minaj albums because I don't think that I'm the core audience or I'm the target audience. But I support people evolving and growing and discovering that there's other avenues to grow in, whether you agree with it or not.
Remember what he just said here, because that tone changes real quick.
The degenerate part of the culture, what I consider the degenerate part of the culture, is okay.
The other side is degenerate, but you were just attacking the girl for name calling. Make it make sense. You always watch that word. Shame on you for resorting to name calling. It's beneath you to stoop so low with such petty insults.
Okay. But it's never okay for you to evolve to where you start to pay attention to and support American principles. And to be honest with you, I think that there's always and always will be a group of people that is against the United States of America.
The classic, if I disagree with you, you are anti-American.
That is against conservative values. And if you ever in any capacity say that you cool with a white person, it's over. It's over in the minds of other people. And they immediately can't wait to call you a coon. Which
Okay, now he's just making up shit. Ain't this guy from Detroit? So am I. I have never heard someone be called a racist for befriending a white person.
Predicting that this is a grand scheme that Todd set up to pardon her husband. And to that I say, well, that's stupid. Your husband's not even in jail. You know what I'm saying? He served his time for that rape. So what do we do now? And at what cost?
See how they still throwing her under the bus?
And what way was she thrown under the bus? All she did was tell us the truth. It's not even news. We already know this. So I am confused.
And I think it's important for y'all to understand that it's not just for personal gain, right? Yes, that's a part of it. She's absolutely getting something out of this agreement because we've never really watched her engaged in politics before in this way. So yes, there is something that our ex-sister is getting out of this exchange, right?
Ex-sister.
Nikki is desperate as she has burned a lot of bridges trying to stay on top. I've burned so many bridges trying to stay on top, and now I have nothing left.
And going to a Turning Point USA event hosted by the very people who want your black ass out of this country is just so...
What I'm trying to understand is, when did Turning Point USA become a racist, anti-black organization?
We playing dumb now? Even Charlie Kirk himself knew of the narrative of him being racist. Be for real.
When did that narrative started to come about? Because I'm not familiar with it. Honest to God.
You admitted you were unfamiliar with it just confirms the belief that you have no idea what you are talking about.
You can sit here and debate whether or not you think that Charlie Kirk is this or that or whatever, so on and so forth. I have my thoughts. I've already expressed it. I'm not going to keep going back and forth with that. But when did the organization become a racist organization?
If you are led by a racist whose business is spreading racism, you must understand that the entire company is racist as a result, perpetuating misinformed information.
Getting up on that stage and spewing anti-trans rhetoric in the most slick, cowardly way that you...
When did black people become supporters and in alignment with trans people? This is what I'm saying.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. The same people attacking trans peoples are attacking black people.
Getting on that stage and saying that Donald Trump was attractive was very disturbing to me. You got up there and shucked and jived in a 30-inch bust down when they would just as easily spit in your face.
Minaj, Cardi B.
Okay, Nicki Minaj is causing dads to leave the home.
Hold on a second. I don't think that's a good role model for 18-year-old black girls. I don't.
So yet again, where did she lie? Daniels don't even respect Nicki, saying she was a part of the degenerate side.
So again, they've completely turned against Nicki Minaj now. And so you can shuck and jive in a 30-inch bust down if it's entertaining. But if you start to have a conversation about morals, values, or taking interest in political beliefs, then that is where we draw the line.
Lying about black pilots getting unfair opportunities, even though they only represented 2% of pilots, ain't got shit to do with morals. Lying about trans people being responsible for more mass shootings, despite it being straight white men by far, ain't got shit to do with morals. Someone being trans doesn't affect your morals because it literally has nothing to do with you. Turning Point USA allowing Myron to attend their events don't affect your morals.
This girl's a fat fucking Jew. Who gives a fuck? What? Wait, about what? Wait, what? Wait, who? You guys already talked with Sean about this, right? Like you already like fucked that up. Oh, I fucked it up now. Andrew also fucked it up now, right? Okay. This girl's a fat fucking Jew. Who gives a fuck?
Run away. Run away. Fat bitch.
He is also wearing a hoodie mocking the Holocaust. But that also didn't affect Antoine morals, but gay people do. So screw this guy and his dumb morals.